on. What's your name?
My name is Willie Jamal Wright.
All right. And can you tell us, I know you've been doing some work with Cooperation Jackson and then Cooperation West Jackson.
So my research is on the legacy of black political movements, and that took me to Jackson, Mississippi. And during that time, I linked up with Cooperation Jackson and also the cooperative community of New West Jackson. So two black-led, New African-led cooperatives on the west side of Jackson, Mississippi.
Right on. For New West Jackson, first of all, we call ourselves as poor, black and brown, indigenous people call ourselves poverty scholars. We all struggle with homelessness, eviction. And it's not necessarily your place to figure out who that is, but I'm just curious in terms of the New West Jackson, they seem like some folks who might be holding on. But I don't know how you would categorize folks there. Are they working class? Are they land, quote unquote, owners? What would you say the situation in that neighborhood was?
I would say that they are workers and visionaries who are committed to black liberation, committed to black communities, and they saw an opportunity in Jackson to put their skills, gifts, and talents to uplifting black folk in the city of Jackson.
Oh, Mateo. So tell me about the cooperative aspects, the work itself. Like how did they set up the cooperative for whatever level you can talk about it?
Yeah, I can't give all the in-depths of it, partly
Sure.
because
Sure, understood.
that's not my labor to do. But I would say it is a residential and economic cooperative, so they were able to get some land on the west side that came with some houses. And like I said, they had the vision and they had the skill set to kind of convert those what had been dilapidated houses into livable spaces, right? So that included carpentry work, that included electrical, roofing, and then they also had assistance from people who were supportive of what they are still doing to make that vision not just come into fruition, but continue to maintain and elevate it.
And so, in terms of the cooperative aspect itself, were the workers co-op members? Or again, and if you can't talk about the specifics, that's okay, but what would you say that you understood? Were they co-op members?
Not everybody is a member of the co-op, right?
Okay.
In some instances, it might just be people who are supportive, some people who have, say, the kind of skills that are needed at a time. But the thing about not just this co-op, but I imagine co-ops in general, you do not have to be a member of a co-op to be supportive and active in it. But I think maybe the ultimate goal is that if you become active in a co-op, that eventually you become a member.
Okay. Because we just learning this, so forgive my
good.
my goofy questions. I guess the other question I have is, again, and it's something we said earlier, but when I was trying to do research and what we call research to find out about cooperatives themselves, they usually are set up in a capitalist system for profit. And it sounds like that the goal wasn't to profit, it was to lift up.
I think in order to maintain it, there has to be some level of, income coming in or finance associated with it. But the mission of the cooperative is not that, right? The mission of the cooperative is to contribute a better life to long-term and incoming black residents on the west side of Jackson, right? That have been ignored and devalued, not just by the city, but by the state governance as well. And in addition, and in doing that labor, bring residents into that work as well, right? Help residents perhaps see their neighborhood in a different light based on the labor that's being done there, the work that's been done there, the care that's being shown, and the invitation that's continually being put out.
Ashe. And last question, I know this comes out rooted in New African and Black Panther movement. Did you want to say anything about the roots of the power of that?
I'm just saying earlier that, nothing is new. A lot of times there are long histories that lay the groundwork for what may emerge today or tomorrow, and Jackson is tied to that. Obviously, Jackson is a a civil rights city, with veterans of the civil rights movement still living today in that city and counties in and around that city. But also Jackson has a clear tie to Detroit and that Black Power history of Detroit, that was embodied in the late Baba Chokwe Lumumba, right, and that continues on in the legacy of those who were aligned with him.
Ashe. Thank you so much.
Please appreciate it.
All right.